The football transfer rumour time is well and truly underway. That's because, of course, let's say all of the domestic seasons are done with. Yes, we know we still have a Champions League final to go, but that's going to be coming later on. But as of now, most clubs are planning for the upcoming season. So there's plenty of movement, plenty of rumours, plenty of speculation, and a lot of it, truth be told, can seem a little hit or miss. But worry not, we at Sports Today have you covered, because we're only going to be bringing you a roundup on a pretty regular basis of what we believe are the most credible transfer rumours. Of course, even there'll be hints of doubt, because again, there's so many reports and sometimes it's hard to figure out who exactly to believe. But we at Sports Today will bring you the best of them, more interesting ones of them, and what we think are the most reliable ones as well. So without further ado, let's just get to it quickly. And the first one involves this man, Harry Kane. Now, Harry Kane is being courted apparently by Real Madrid. Yes, you heard that right. And it's easy to understand why. Real Madrid have a big Karim Benzema-filled hole in the striker department, and they think that Kane would be the man who'd be best suited to fill that role. And again, that's easy to understand why. They have very similar skill sets. Kane is in the prime of his career and should be, able enough to lead Real Madrid to a few more trophies in the not so distant future. There's just one small problem with this, is the valuation of Kane that Daniel Levy, Spurs chairman, still has. Daniel Levy wants about £100 million for Harry Kane, which is bonkers when you think about it, because he has 1 year left on his deal. If he has to be sold, you're going to be selling him at a cut price fee, or wait for him to leave on a free come the following season. But Real Madrid's interest is very concrete and has become even more concrete, of course, now that Benzema's departure has been confirmed. But Real Madrid aren't stopping there. They're eyeing a triple swoop. That's right, not even a double swoop, a triple swoop of players, two of whom are English, one of whom is currently playing in England. That is because the other man is, Kai Havertz. Yes, Kai Havertz, currently playing at Chelsea, is reportedly another striker target for Real Madrid. That is because they feel again that they need to bolster their attacking options, and this isn't just down to Benzema's departure. Don't forget, they've lost Eden Hazard, Marco Asensio has also left the club. So there are a few vacancies here or there, and they believe that a deal can be struck with Chelsea for the transfer of Havertz. Now, Havertz has been a pretty divisive figure among Chelsea fans. Yes, he scored a few key goals, clutch goals, but oftentimes consistency has been missing from his game, even though, that can be said about pretty much every Chelsea forward at this point. Now, Chelsea have spent a lot of money and would be keen to sell players, as you'll figure out in the, for due course as far as this video is concerned. There's a few more rumours regarding Chelsea players being sold, and Havertz is potentially one of them who could be a saleable asset, someone who could bring in a lot of money because he's still young and has plenty of upside. However, this right now is still in the early stages, and it's not a guarantee that Chelsea would want to sell, given Pochettino may very well like the kind of profile that Havertz has. The third player Real Madrid are targeting is Jude Bellingham. Now, this one seems a little bit more straightforward, although there is some work to be done when it comes to meeting Borussia Dortmund's valuation. Dortmund value Bellingham at about 150 million euros, whereas Real would probably be willing to pay something around the 120 million euro mark at most. At least that is what reports suggest. But what is also worth noting is that Bellingham is someone who a lot of clubs would covet, but few could really afford. It did seem likely that Liverpool might be his destination, but again, that very steep transfer fee plus the fact that Liverpool need to rebuild a good chunk of their squad meant that they ruled out Bellingham, and one by one, a lot of other clubs have stepped out of the race, meaning that if Real Madrid have to make a move, really it is very much a one-horse race. So it could be down to them just being able to negotiate that fee down a little bit at least. Or they might just decide to stump up the cash anyway. What we do know is that Real are currently the best placed club to sign the promising young English midfielder. But moving on from Real Madrid related rumours, Alexis McAllister, someone who was a key part of Argentina's World Cup winning side and who did in fact say some very tearful goodbyes during Brighton's final Premier League game of the season, it is now seeming likelier and likelier that he's going to join Liverpool, because credible reports suggest that the deal has already been done. It'll be worth about anywhere close to say 50 to 55 million pounds is what Liverpool will be paying Brighton for the Argentine midfielder. Personal terms have been agreed for a while, so that never really was an issue. And despite the fact that he was also being linked to clubs like Manchester United, it now does seem that he's headed to Liverpool, and that is going to be the natural progression for him. Again, Brighton have always been seen as something of a selling club where a player will go, get developed, then eventually move on. And it does seem like McAllister, probably one of their most saleable assets recently, is going to be making the move to Liverpool. But he isn't the only one, and we'll get to that one in just a bit. But first, as I said, Chelsea aren't only just looking to sell Kai Havertz. There are other players who they're looking to sell. One of them is, of course, a homegrown player in Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is being linked with a move to AC Milan, where he could potentially hook up with his fellow Chelsea Academy graduate Fikayo Tomori, who himself left Chelsea and then ended up winning the Serie A at AC Milan. Now, Loftus-Cheek has had a bit of an up and down Chelsea career in recent years. Yes, he's played a lot of games, but it's been pretty clear that he is little more than a squad player, and it could very well be likely that Chelsea could cash in on him and again look to not just free up a space in the squad, but also getting a little bit of cash to ensure that they aren't really in breach of financial fair play regulations. That, however, doesn't mean they aren't looking to sign more players. As I said, we'll get to that part in just a bit. But now we're getting to the most speculative part of the transfer rumors, because again, Manuel Ugarte has been one player that is being linked to Chelsea for the longest of times. The sporting midfielder who plays for Uruguay has been someone who's being linked with the club for quite a while really, but now it does seem, and again there's conflicting reports here, that they're competing with PSG for his signature, and while certain reports in Portugal suggest that Ugarte to Chelsea is pretty much a done deal, there are other credible reports that suggest that Ugarte have in fact been beaten to the post by Chelsea have been beaten by the post to PSG rather, because they feel that they've offered more money and therefore Ugarte would be more willing to sign for the Parisian champions. Now again, as I said, this is one of those rumors which could really go either way. What does seem likely is that Ugarte, the interest that Chelsea have in him is very real, but PSG could very well offer him a better financial package. There is, however, another player that Chelsea are targeting in case Ugarte doesn't go through, and that is Moses Caicedo. Now again, you remember Caicedo was linked with a move to Arsenal during this year's January transfer window. That move didn't eventually end up happening because Brighton ended up saying, no, we're not selling him, you're staying put. But he still has personal terms agreed with Arsenal. However, Chelsea do believe that they have a chance of signing him because they can offer a higher transfer fee to Brighton. Now again, Caicedo is another one of those players who's really shown for Brighton throughout, and considering just how close he was to leaving, it does seem likely that he'll be leaving in the summer. Which London club he joins, however, that is something that still looks a little bit up for debate. But he isn't the only, let's say, London-based midfielder who's causing a little bit of problems for certain clubs. Declan Rice, currently playing for West Ham, has suddenly found himself being courted by Bayern Munich. Now, at this point, it did seem likely that West Ham would be seeing or bidding goodbye to their captain, because again, he has only about a year left on his deal. He's rejected multiple offers to sign a new deal, and it therefore did seem likely that he would leave come the end of the season, and Arsenal seemed his most set priority, the one place where he'd be going more likelier than any other club. But again, Bayern Munich, a club who'd be guaranteeing him not just continental football, also a new style of play. Could it happen? We don't really know, but what we know is that Bayern are very much interested, and don't forget, they too are looking to rebuild their side, having come very painfully close to actually losing the Bundesliga this season for the first time in 11 years. So that's it from us in this edition of the Transfer Rumour Roundup. We hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, you can let us know by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, subscribing to the channel, tapping that bell icon, also leave us a comment. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and download the SportsTech app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.